Hello friends, I welcome you all in my lecture on TE mode of an rectangular waveguide. TE stands for transverse electric mode. So objectives of today's lecture is students should able to analyze the field related to the TE mode in a rectangular waveguide. So before going to the field analysis, we will see what is a waveguide and why we require the waveguide. So before this, in my previous lecture, we have seen like that is transmission lines like microstrip lines, strip lines, couple lines are used to carry the signal from one component or to the another component or one circuit to the another circuit. But see, these are having some disadvantages. The first thing is like that as we increase the frequency, the losses occurred, that is the attenuation losses occurring, that goes on increasing in case of transmission lines. Similarly, the transmission lines are very thin structure deposited on a PCB. So because of that, they cannot handle a very high power. But in a case of a microwave, so many times we require the signals which are having a very high frequency and having a very high power. To handle such a signals, we need a different device that can carry the signal from one place to the another place, and that device is called as a waveguide is an hollow metallic structure. It is having the various shapes like a rectangular, circular, elliptical, and it is a hollow inside, so it can carry any frequency or very high frequency can be carried very easily. As it is a metallic structure, so there is a no loss, it is a lossless device. And similarly, it can handle a very high power. So some of the waveguide photographs I have shown in this figure. This is a rectangular waveguide. Then this is a waveguide bands. This is a waveguide. This is a waveguide to coax adapter. Like when we want to input the signal to the waveguide, we need to have such an adapter from where we can connect an coaxial cable to the waveguide. Then this is a various devices that can be made with the help of a waveguide. That is, this is a E-plane T. There are various shapes and sizes of a waveguides. If you see this. Now, as we have seen, these waveguides are used to reduce the attenuation. They can be used at a high frequencies, and they are having in a high power. They can able to handle a high power. Then there is one speciality of a waveguide that they can operate above a certain frequency. That is, they are having their lower cutoff frequency. If any signal below that frequency, it cannot pass through the waveguide. So this characteristic of a waveguide resembles a high pass filter. So this waveguide, simple waveguide, can also act as a high pass filter. Then normally circular or rectangular waveguides are very commonly used waveguides. And as I told you earlier, that is, as it is in a conducting media inside the waveguide is normally air, and it is in a sealed metallic structure. So we will assume this is in a lossless waveguides for the further derivations. Now, as I told you, these are the some components, waveguide components. The main thing is that we have to remember about this waveguide coax adapter. So now this is a rectangular waveguide. So this is a rectangular waveguide having a rectangular shape. It is a hollow metallic rectangular structure. Then the width of this structure is A, and that it can be along with an x-axis. The height of a structure is B, that is along with the y-axis, and the length of this waveguide is L, and that is along the z-axis. So first of all, we will see when we input the signal to this waveguide, what happens inside this waveguide. Now see, if we input the signal to the waveguide, then the coaxial with the help of a coaxial cable, by using a coaxial adapter. We know that coaxial cable is having a central conductor. So we have to insert the central conductor of a coaxial cable inside this waveguide. Now this is a central conductor of a coaxial cable. The signal is inputted with the help of this central conductor. But see, whenever the central conductor ends, then there is no physical conducting path available for the signal, and this is a very high frequency signal. So whenever, in case of a high frequency signal, whenever discontinuity arises, the radiations will take place. Same thing happens over here. When the center conductor ends, then from the end point of the center conductor, this is the center conductor, okay, and from the end point of the center conductor, the radiations will took place. Radiations will takes place. Now these radiations, now as this is a waveguide structure, it is not going to absorb the signal. Then what will happen when these radiation hits on the walls of the waveguide? Then they will get reflected from the walls of the waveguide. They will get reflected from the walls of the waveguide like this. If it is heated on this wall, it will get reflected, then it will get reflected from this wall also. Okay, so the signal will get reflected from the parallel wall. Now we can draw like this is the walls of the waveguide. Okay, these are the two walls, parallel walls of a waveguide. When the signal, that is radiated signal, hits on this point, then it will get reflected. So while reflecting, it will take a little slanted position. So it will hit on the wall which is in front of that wall or parallel to that wall. Then this wall is also not going to keep the signal or absorb the signal. It will reflect back. Then the signal will get reflected from this point and the signal will get reflected from this point also. Now you can say, due to these reflections from the wall, the signal will travel along the length of this waveguide. Signal is moving in a forward direction. Signal is moving in a forward direction due to the reflections from the wall. And this movement of a signal is called as propagating of the signal or the propagation of the signal inside the waveguide. And this propagation of a signal will take place along with the length of the waveguide. Signal will get reflected and propagate through the length of the waveguide. So the length of a waveguide is along with which axis? It is along with the z-axis. So the length of the waveguide is along with the z-axis. So we can say that signal will propagate along with the z-axis. The propagation of a signal is along with the z-axis. Now, as the signal is propagating along with the z-axis, then we know that we have already studied the characteristics of this microwave signals. Okay, that is the electromagnetic signal. When the signal is propagating along the z-axis, then the signal components, if it is an electrical signal, then the signal components Ex, Ey are present along with the x-axis and y-axis. And if the signal is propagating along with the, that is, if the magnetic signal is propagating along with the z-axis, then Hx and Hy components are present. Or we can write here Ez also. So such type of components are present along with the x, y and z axis. Okay. And these components are perpendicular to each other and perpendicular to the direction of propagation that we know about an electromagnetic signal. So in general, if you want to say about an waveguide, so if we want to find out the field analysis, if you want to find out the field analysis inside the waveguide, then we can say like that whatever the input signal that is propagating along with the z-axis, that is having the components in the x-axis and y-axis. So to find out these components, if we to find out, that is analyzing the signal inside the waveguide means finding out these components which are present along the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So we need to find out Ex, Hx, Ez, Hz, Ex, Hx, Ey and Hy. So these components, in case of the electromagnetic signal, we need to find out all these components. We need to find out all these components. Now see, there is another speciality of this waveguide is like that. It can have the various combinations of the field. There are various combinations of the fields can be carried inside the waveguide. Waveguide can conduct or waveguide can carry the various combinations of this field, that is Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy. In that way, it can carry the it is possible inside the waveguide to carry the various combinations of the field. and these various combinations of the fields are called as modes. These various combinations of the fields are called as modes. So when there is a combination of the electric field, then it is called as TE mode. When there are combinations of the magnetic field which are carried through the waveguide, then it is called as TM mode. Then, if there is electric and magnetic fields both are there, then this is called as TEM mode. But see, the waveguide, inside the waveguide, there is a single conductor, single conductor. So as there is only single conductor, then there is a no TEM mode is possible. There is no TEM mode is possible inside the waveguide. Now we will prove that is which modes are possible. First we'll see which modes are possible and which are not possible. Okay, we will find the waveguide don't support a TEM mode. Okay, this is the physical reason, like it is having a single conductor, so it cannot support the TEM mode, but we have to prove it mathematically also. Okay, so prove it mathematically, we have to find out the field equations or the field distributions inside this waveguide. So whenever the signal is propagating along the z directions, and we can write the field equations inside a waveguide with the help of time harmonic Maxwell's equations, that is time harmonic fields inside the guide will always satisfy the Maxwell's equations. So first we'll write about in a Maxwell's equation. So these are the Maxwell's equations related to the electric field and magnetic field, that is del cross E is equal to minus J omega mu H, and del cross H is equal to minus J omega epsilon H. So these are the field equations that will satisfy that should be satisfied inside this waveguide, so that the proper propagation of a signal will take place. Now these equations, since this equation is propagating along with the z direction, we can write the component for these equations. Like as I told you, there will be the x component, y component, and z components are also there. So we will write these components as the z is propagating along with the z direction. The components will be ex and ey as well as hx and hy. So these are the components of the field components are present. So we can write the field equations like. We can have Ex is equal to minus gamma upon h square de bar Ez upon de bar x minus j omega mu upon h square de bar hz upon de bar y. This is the Ex. Hx will be j omega epsilon de bar Ez upon h square de bar y minus gamma upon h square de bar hz upon de bar x. Similarly, Ey equals to minus gamma upon h square de bar Ez upon de bar y minus j omega mu upon h square de bar hz upon de bar x, and hy is equal to minus j omega epsilon upon h square de bar Ez upon de bar x minus gamma upon h square de bar hz upon de bar y, where h square is equal to gamma square plus k square is equal to kx square plus ky square. Now, from this equation, we can say like that there, if you see the equation for Ex and Hx, Ey and Hy, in all these four equations, we can able to see only two variables like Ez and Hz. In the equation number 1, in the equation number 2, Ez and Hz. Then equation number 3 also, there are field variables are Ez and Hz. Equation number 4, the field variables are Ez and Hz. So we can say like that, if you are able to know, if you know the Ez, if you know Ez, and if you know the Hz, we can calculate Ex. If you know the Ez and if you know the Hz, we can calculate Hx. If you know the Ez and if you know the Hz, we can calculate Ey. If you know this Ez and Hz, we can calculate Hy also. Okay, so if you know these two fields Ez and Hz, we can calculate any of the field component inside this waveguide. Any of the field component inside this waveguide. Now see, At a time, both Ez and Hz will not present inside the waveguide. As I told you, there will be the single conductor. Waveguide is in a single conductor structure. So at a time, Ez and Hz will not be present inside the waveguide. Now, if Ez is equal to 0, then we can find out Ex with the help of Hz, Ey with the help of Hz, Hx and Hy also we can find out with the help of Hz. One of the term will be 0. Ez term will be 0. Now, if Hz is equal to 0, then with the help of Ez, we can find out Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy. All these terms can be founded out. But see, if at a time Ez and Hz are 0, both are 0, we cannot find any of the term because of Ez0 first term will be 0, because of Hz0 first term will be 0, second term will be 0. So in that way, if Ez and Hz both are 0, then that particular mode of operation is called as TM mode. That particular mode of operation is called as TM mode. And if there is a TM mode, if both are 0, then no component, no field component will exist inside this waveguide. So we can say that TM mode, waveguide cannot propagate, or waveguide will not supporting a TM mode. So once we know the Ez and Hz, we can find all other fields. Now these equations can conclude, we can conclude like this: TM mode can't propagate. From this we can say like that TM mode is not available inside the waveguide, because if we have Ez and Hz both equals to 0, all components Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy all will be 0. So no TM propagation is possible inside the waveguide. When Ez equals to 0, that particular mode is called as TE mode, that is transverse electric mode. In TE mode, electric field lines of flux are perpendicular to the axis of waveguide. When Hz is equal to 0, that particular mode is called as TM mode, that is transverse magnetic mode, where Hz is 0, Ez will exist. When in TM mode, the magnetic lines of flux are perpendicular to the axis of waveguide. So HE hybrid modes in which all components are exist. Okay, so how waveguide can support a hybrid modes. As I told you, many field compositions are supported by a waveguide, and these are called as various modes. So we will see one by one. First, we'll see about an TE mode. So in the TE mode, as we have defined, Ez equals to 0. In the TE mode, Ez equals to 0. Now, if Ez is equals to 0, then this all Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy equations will get modified. Now see, if you are putting Ez is equal to 0 in this equation, then Ex equation will become, that we are putting Ez equals to 0, then the first term, this is the first term, that is equal to 0. Okay, so what will be the Ex? Ex is equal to only minus j omega mu upon h square into d bar hz upon d bar y. So that will be the Ex. Similarly, in the Ey, first term will be 0. In the Hz also, Hx also, first term will be 0. And Hy also, first term will be 0. Only second term, Ex will be the only second term, minus j omega mu upon h square, d bar Hz upon d bar y. Similarly, Ey is equal to only, Ey equals to only minus j omega mu upon h square d bar hz upon d bar x. Okay. So these are the, like this we have to modify this equation to find out the final field equations related to this, or the actual field equations related to this rectangular waveguide. So after modification, after putting this Ez equals to 0, we can have a Ex is equal to minus j omega mu upon s square d bar hz upon d bar y. In that way, all these four equations can be written. Now, if you want to find out the solution for these equations, Then we have to find out in terms of separation of variables. We have to use the method of separation of variables. Now by using the method of separation of variables, we can write Hz is equal to H0 cos of m pi by a into x into cos of n pi by b into y e raised to minus j beta z. Okay, so by using separation of variables, we can write this Hz. Now we can put this value for Hz in our equations. We are having equations Ex is equal to minus j omega mu upon s square into d bar Hz upon d bar y. Now this is d bar Hz upon d bar y. This is the first term is constant. So we can modify Ex equals to minus j omega mu upon s square. So first term is constant, so we have to write as it is. Okay, then we can write d bar hz. What is the hz? Hz is h0 cos of m pi by a, m pi by a into x into cos of n pi by y into b, sorry, n pi by b into y into e raised to minus j beta z. Okay, so this derivative with respect to d bar y. So if the derivative is with respect to d bar y, so in this equation, whatever the term related to the x, this will be the constant. Related to the z, this will be the constant. So we can write Ex equals to minus j omega mu upon s square into whatever the term related to x, that will be the constant h0 cos of m pi by a into x into e raised to minus j beta z. Okay, only the derivative of, we have to take only the derivative of y term. So y term कौन सा है? Y term is only n pi by b into y, cos of n pi by b into y. So the derivative of that will be cos, derivative of a cos is minus sign. So this minus sign of n pi by b into y. Okay, then again we have to take the derivative of this one, that is whatever in the bracket, that will be multiplied by n pi by b. So now we can write Ex equals to, we can write Ex equals to minus j omega mu upon h square, okay, into n pi by b into h0 cos of m pi by a into x into, so this minus and minus will become plus, so I will write plus over here, into sine of n pi by b into y into e raised to minus j beta z. So this will be the final equation for Ex. In this way we can find out the equation for Ey. Just we have to take the derivative of d bar hz upon d bar x. So whatever the x term, that derivative of x term we have to take, y term and z term will become constant. Similarly, we have to find it the equation for hx, like d bar hz upon d bar dx. So whatever the x term, the derivative of x term, that only we have to find out. The y term and the z term will remain constant, and similarly we have to find out the equation for hy. So the final equations, final field equations, In case of an rectangular waveguide and in the TE mode will be like this. So you can note down the equations, and this is about the TE mode. Thank you. If you like my lecture, you can subscribe to my channel.